What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. Now, before I even get started, I do want to apologize. It has been, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days since I've uploaded, and that just ain't me, except recently because it's been a very hectic last week or two. I think we can all agree on that. Speaking of it being very hectic, babe, what time of recording are we at right now? 4:18 a.m. The American flag at the White House is at half-mast, I believe. Signs of a national tragedy. We'll figure out later what's going on there, but hey, at least you might have heard it here first. But you can see what I mean when I say that I'm pretty sure all of us have had a busy last couple weeks. So let's get right into it. On this video, what my opinions of cross-draw carry are. Now, I don't know exactly how I would word this style of carry, what it would be exactly called, because it doesn't have a specific phrasing, like, for example, appendix carry, small of the back carry, pocket carry, whatever. It doesn't have a specific name as far as I could find, so I'm going to define it as cross-draw carry. Essentially, it's having it the exact opposite of strong side. So instead of, right, if let's say you're right-handed like I am, instead of, strong side, your gun being here like this, right? It's essentially over here like this, where you would have to cross draw. That part seems pretty self-evident. That part I didn't feel I needed to explain, but just in case for those who are more, visual learners than auditorial. What my opinions are on this style of carry and why. Let's get right into it. No more beating around the bush. For starters, it doesn't seem to be the most optimal. I can say that one without a doubt. And I know I say that phrase a lot, especially when it comes to things that are happening in the gun world. Let me adjust this just a tiny bit. However, it is the truth that, when you have to sit here, lift your shirt up, reach your arm all the way over here just to get your gun out, yeah, that's definitely not going to be a very quick, optimal way to, to react to a life-threatening situation. I'm going to go into a couple of reasons why I don't believe it's the best, and then overall just give you my final opinions. So, one, for starters, I have noticed that it prints a lot more. Now, this is coming from somebody who carries strong side carry, so I try my best to take notice of printing itself. You know what I mean? Even when I do appendix carry, I, will go out of my way to try to notice, when I'm printing, because you don't want everybody to know you have a gun on you. That's obvious. When you're carrying strong side, for example, right? The handle of the firearm, while not essentially being pressed to your body without like a wing, for example, without being pressed to your body, is still, your body's not going to be rail thin and as flat. So therefore, it makes it a good bit easier because you have the side of your body that essentially kind of just, acts as filler for the shirt space, so that way you're not printing as much with the grip of your firearm. So there's a big difference right there. That's with strong side. Now, when you completely change the position of the firearm, you're not even talking about just, oh yeah, let me go ahead and switch it to a left-handed draw, same style, of draw though. Nope. You're talking about completely taking the firearm that you have right here, let's say in its holster, all the way around. Now you're worrying about the grip just completely hanging, excuse me, you're worrying about the grip completely hanging off, or not off, out, I guess you could say. And overall, it definitely would print a good bit more. In the end, cross-draw carry definitely isn't going to be your most concealable way to carry. Now, of course, there are ways around it, wearing a jacket, a flannel, whatever. There are ways around carrying in positions that are a bit more obvious than one would like them to be. But does that make it a good way to carry if you have to go out of your way to add extra pieces of clothing to kind of mask it? Not really. Moving on, the draw time. Draw time is not very great for a cross draw. The reason why that is because there are more ways for you to mess up your draw. It's going to definitely be a lot more obvious that you're drawing a gun. and it just overall takes more time. The reason why that is because instead of, just lifting your shirt, grabbing your gun, let's say from appendix carry position, or lifting your shirt over here and just see how you just slide your arm up from your hip and bam, you can grab your gun from a strong side carry position. When you have to sit here and draw from a cross draw carry position, you have to lift your shirt up, reach all the way around here, and then draw and present. Here's the problem with that. And I think we can all agree here. Let's say I'm sitting here talking to somebody and I notice a threat, right? And I just slide my arm up like that. That's definitely going to be like, okay, yeah, what is he doing right here? He might be reaching in his pocket for something, whatever. But boom, I can have a gun out and a majority of people wouldn't notice in time. That's just how it is. And especially if you're like me, I don't know about you guys, but I'm Italian. So, one of my favorite jokes about my Italian heritage is that, hey, we talk with our hands a lot. We're very animated. So, and if you guys watch all my other videos, I can guarantee you have seen it. But my whole point is that it makes it not so obvious when I go to draw a firearm. If I have to sit here and I'm talking and I'm like, oh, yeah, that definitely seems a bit more odd if I'm having to reach across my body to grab something. When in all reality, people who are thinking in their mind, like the natural instinct in somebody's mind is, why would he have to reach across to just grab something from out of his pocket or out of whatever? Just use your left hand. So it kind of just it makes it much more obvious. It's telegraphing that you're going to draw the firearm in a much more obvious manner than it would be with an appendix carry position, a strong side carry position, even a pocket carry position. Overall, it's the drawing isn't going to be the best either. I mean, I'll be honest, I never understood where people got the idea for a cross draw and why that would be effective. I mean, realistically speaking, it just seems like it's going to be slower, more obvious, and not to mention you're going to be more difficult. I'm sorry, but it's much easier to lift my shirt up and grab something that's directly right here off my waist and get it into the fight. That's the easiest way to draw, is from appendix carry position, whether you guys agree with it or not. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't appendix carry 24/7. I might do it here and there, but generally speaking, I strong side carry. So even the fact that, my strong side carry position, right? It still is easier to lift my shirt and my arm that most likely is going to either be right here up. I can go down and grab it, or I can sit there, and if my arms aren't up, my arm is probably already going to be down. I can just lift my shirt, grab, and bam. You see what I mean? It's much quicker. It's much less obvious. Overall, a cross draw carry position essentially takes all of those benefits away, even the benefits that have been somewhat mitigated due to a strong side carry position. It just doesn't seem very much so worth it to me. Now, moving on, and this is something that I actually just thought about like a minute or two before I started recording this video. Another problem I notice with a cross draw carry position is, if I were to say go in to give my grandma a hug, right? I don't want the handle of my firearm jabbing into these people. It's just going to make it very uncomfortable and very obvious, hey, I have a gun on me. You know what I mean? And sure, you could argue that with appendix carry, if you give somebody too deep of a hug, yeah, sure, they can feel your gun. But I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know about y'all, I'm not giving too many people hugs where I'm getting that close to them, other than like my wife. But that's besides the point, I guess you could say. Overall, it seems that there are no true benefits from carrying in that position. It's not more concealable. It's not quicker or easier to draw. It overall just doesn't seem worth it to me. So I'm kind of curious as to the reason why some people felt that carrying in a cross draw position, where you would have to lift your shirt up, go like this just to draw your gun and then get a grip on it. I would like to know the reason why people thought that was ever a good idea, because just from a realistic aspect, from a standpoint of, okay, you need to be able to get your gun into the fight. You need to be able to make it, still a surprise, because the element of surprise is phenomenal. It is very useful in self-defense situations. It just seems that these qualities that you really want, with I guess with how you're carrying, you're just never going to get while carrying cross draw. So I'm just very confused as to why people ever thought that was a good idea. But I think that about wraps up for this video. I don't want to keep going in circles. I just had to make sure the microphone's still on there. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And whether or not you agree with me, and if you don't agree with me on my opinions on cross draw carry, I'd like to know why. I would love to know why. But if you do agree with me, whether or not you do or don't, at least, make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.